Hello. Hello. I don't know if I'm live. Oh, I might just be. Oh, hold on. Hold on. I had a plan for like weeks for my intro, so hold on. Bump, bump. Ba-da-ba-dump, bump. But it's a rare condition of this day and age to read any good news on the newspaper page. A love and condition of the grand design. Some people say it's even harder to find. But there must be some magic clue inside these gentle walls. Okay. That's what I had in my head for an intro. Guys, I don't have much time, and I'm getting crucified by my peeps because I told you that I would let you know how court went and stuff and things after the court. And I've been so busy, but I'm going to make time here by going to Nate the Lawyer's Twitter page to talk about a subject and try to give you a stream on something that I'm really, that I think is very bad. Also, just to say hi. Now, I probably should share this so that peeps will know that I'm streaming, but they'll figure it out. If you're subscribed to me with the bell on, theoretically speaking, you should know that I'm live. So anyway, let's get right into it. Nope, that's just a picture. I'm on Nate the Lawyer's Twitter. Let's turn on some music. Oh, hold on. Boom. So, what we're going to do first is a quick 10 minutes on the Russell Brand issue. And before me to do that, so that you have that, because I want to upload a video, simply because I think that if you're a YouTuber, you probably should weigh in on this if you care about it at all. Let me go ahead, and if I had a playlist, I could do this, but of course I don't. Oh, man. Wow. Am I just really messing this up already, bro? Disable play. Hey, I've got a playlist. All right. Oh, man. I don't even know if... I guess I could get my live chat up and normal stream things and stuff. Hey, there's my song. Okay, let me roll you in, give me a second, because of course I've been recording. I don't have anything set up for live streaming. We're just gonna have to deal with it. I don't have time to go back and forth, but hold on. Russell Brand is a YouTuber who used to be a celebrity, or is he still a celebrity? Well, anyway, he was in a bunch of movies. I never really liked him much when he was in movies, but once he became a YouTuber, I actually started to watch his channel. I think he got recommended to me or something. He's got like millions of subs. I mean, I probably should go to his Russell, and he has 6.62 million subscribers. Oh, wow. Okay. Anyway, he has been completely demonetized from YouTube and had all of his stuff canceled because he just a couple days ago had allegations made against him that came out in the BBC and on, I believe it was a different newspaper. You're going to hear all the details right now. And before I even say hi or anything, let's get this out of the way. Some normally content stuff. What? Really? Yeah, before I ramble, let's get this done. So YouTube suspended Russell Brand's advertisement income, and this is a shock to a lot of people. You'll find out why in a minute. Now, this is the BBC. This is, of course, Russell Brand has made the allegation that the BBC is purposely trying to cancel him with false stuff. Give me 8 more minutes. We already got 2 minutes down. 8 more minutes. My back hurts, so I'm not streaming long, so... YouTube suspended Russell Brand's channels from making money for violating its creator responsibility policy. What? So, literally, within a day or two, YouTube was able to look at what the news, maybe 3 days, what the news said that Russell Brand had done wrong within a couple days, 3 days, 4 days, and then they were able to say, okay, he needs to lose ads. That's extreme. No, I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying it's right. It's just extreme. He hasn't been charged, I don't think. He hasn't gone to court. You know, there is no innocent until proven guilty there. And I think that that's the main thing you'll see if you look on Twitter or anywhere else. Oh, I'm sorry, X. The video platform said it was taking action to protect its users. Protect us from brand? Wow. Meanwhile, the BBC said it removed some programs featuring the comedian and actor from its streaming services. I didn't even know the BBC had a streaming service. Oh man, I should have cued my sound effects. Hold on, let me open my sound effects. That would have been a really good... that would have been a really good, like, if I played the clappy noise. You know what I'm saying? Like the clap, the audience clapping noise. That would have been a good one. Sorry, it takes a second for my soundboard to pop up. So you're just going to have to, I'm just going to sit here and wait on it. Okay, there it is. That's why I waited. It only takes a second. Okay, here we go. Let's test it. Oh, I haven't heard that sound in months. Okay, so I guess the BBC's awesome streaming service removed movies and programs that Russell Brand was in. It comes after he was accused of bad stuff between 2006 and 2013. He denies the claims, saying that his relationships were always consensual. The BBC said it removed some content that now falls below public expectations. What does that mean? Like, just come out and say you removed the content because you don't like him or because he's being accused of this. Don't blame it on the public or the public's expectations. That's not right, BBC. You know, that's weird. Earlier on Tuesday, YouTube spokesperson said if a creator's off-platform behavior harms our users, employees, or ecosystem, we take action. Yeah, but what if, and I don't know, this is just a what if. What if, though, he was accused and he didn't do it? I'm just saying, what if that happened? Wouldn't that mean that he's being harmed? I don't care. In recent years, the TV and radio personality repositioned himself, posting regular videos about spirituality, anti-establishment politics, and recently UFOs to 6.6 million subs. Now, hold on a minute. He didn't reposition himself. He's always been like that, from what I could tell. Yeah. You really think that somebody just stopped... Wait a minute, not stop making movies. So he starts a YouTube channel and he just becomes this way. Yeah, I don't buy it. YouTube's decision to block his revenue applies to all channels that may be owned or operated by the 48-year-old, it confirmed to the BBC. Other channels associated with his main page include Awakening with Russell, Stay Free with Russell, Brand, Football is Nice, which have about 500,000 subscribers between them. Sarah McCork, Sarah, author and chief executive of social media analysis agency Quark. Did she name her agency after her last name? Quark? Estimated Brand made about 2,000 to 4,000 per video. Wow. That's kind of messed up. Like, yeah. Why? I don't know. That's weird, man. He was probably making more revenue from YouTube than any other platform. Everything existed to drive people towards YouTube. So that probably was a significant revenue stream that has obviously been paused. However, Rumble still carries adverts on his content, so his ability to make money by no means been stopped, she said. I don't know what that means. Like, is this supposed to be a caveat or something? Like, look, again, if he did it, if he's this kind of criminal, fine, hang him out to dry. Yeah, I don't know, though. We're going to look at what's been accused in a second. We're going to look at a BBC article. So YouTube's move will have some impact, but his audience is still there. They are very passionate. They want his content, and they're going to follow him. So what are you saying? Are you saying that he shouldn't be watched or that your goal is to censor him? I mean, he should probably be locked up if he did this for like ever, right? Yeah. She predicted he could launch an independent subscription-based platform where his legions of fans could pay to watch his videos. And I'm not going to read this about how YouTubers make money. Here we go. The allegations against Brand were made in a joint investigation by the Sunday Times, the Times, and Channel 4 Dispatches. Wait a minute. Shouldn't they... What? Hold on. What? Shouldn't this be done by the cops? On Monday, the Metro Popo said it received a report of an alleged N03. So it received a report. I'm so confused. Voodoo says, FYI, about 2 years ago, Brand went very far right. Before that, he sort of left wing. Oh, he did change. Okay, thank you, Voodoo, and good to see you. Oh, well, I appreciate that. Okay. So I guess he went from left to right. I didn't think he was on the right, though. I thought he was a, what is it called? A libertarian? He may be on the right. I could be wrong. I don't know a lot about Russell Brand, so. So on Tuesday, the Times reported claims from 2 more women, including one who alleged he was threatening and verbally abusive towards her when she refused to bang him. Huh. Okay, well. So 2 more women, one of the 2 said this. Okay. Ahead of the Dispatch's broadcast, Brand took his online media platforms preemptively to deny all claims of misconduct, saying he was the subject of a coordinated attack involving various serious allegations that I absolutely refute. Well, I'm sorry to say it. It does seem like he's kind of being attacked. Just saying. I'm just saying it's just the way it looks from the outside. I'm not saying he is. It just looks that way, so. On Monday, one of the women who accused him when she was 16 has told BBC his behavior was an open secret. The woman known as Alice added the allegations against him have been a long time coming. Speaking for the first time since the accusations became public, she said his denial was laughable and insulting. Yeah, a long time coming. I mean, that does make it sound like everybody did it at the same time. It just kind of backs up what he said about... Because again, he could be being attacked and still... You know what I'm saying? Anyway. The remaining shows of Brand's bipolarization tour have also been postponed. So his shows, his whole comedy shows, his YouTube ads, he might be banned from, you know, Twitter or YouTube. Well, maybe not Twitter. Facebook will a lot of times ban before Twitter does. So, you know, there's still time for these things to happen. Prior to his reinvention as an online guru, I don't see him as a guru from the videos that I've seen of his. I just think he kind of just gives his opinion on things. He's very anti the establishment. Yeah, I would say that. Very anti the establishment. Okay. So the comedian's traditional earnings were made through high-profile TV and radio, presenting jobs, books, and movie appearances, as well as live comedy shows. Okay, that's it. So, hey everybody, hope you're all well. Hey, Guide to the Galaxy, good to see you. I do think he's being attacked. They're using old issues to condemn him now. Oh, okay. I'm glad you told me that, Sue. That kind of goes with the whole attack thing. Let me see if I can put the chat on the screen in a second. I will in a second. I'm gonna have to move my camera because it's gonna go over here, and because when I record, when I'm not live streaming, I have to move my camera because I have to recenter myself. So give me a second, I'll do all that. He writes books on religion, etc. And I really did like Brand before he went to the right wing. Okay, well, I appreciate your opinion there. So that was shared by Nate the lawyer. But what I'm looking for is a different... Andrew blocked Nate the lawyer. Why did Andrew block Nate the lawyer? Oh, drama. Andrew, you're a coward by blocking me and then talking shit behind my back. I know you see this. I didn't even make an issue out of the block. Screenshots like this. Screenshot this like you're doing with my other posts. I didn't know you would bitch up when challenged, but I was wrong. And he shows that law of self-defense. Ooh, Nate's calling someone out. Oh, damn. Nate's getting spicy. And I can almost promise you all that much, like with Natalie Lawyer Chick, he's going to expect other law tubers not to associate you. I hope they all know better. Well, I can tell you that Rakita and a few others aren't going to care. They're not going to take, they're not going to go with a group opinion. But I can tell you, due to me looking into a LawTube video months ago, yeah, there will be several that will jump on the bandwagon. They do have a little bit of a bandwagon in LawTube. I don't want to get into drama right now, but I have to read this. See how bad I am? I don't want to get into drama, but I have to read this. A guy named Philion did a video about this called Celebrities or NPCs, talking about how Russell and Danny Masterson were in Scientology and other groups that got freaky with sex stuff. Ooh, Philion. I've seen that channel before. Hold up. Is it a good video? AGG? Because we could actually do a quick little preview. Oh, baby. I have a theory. Okay, we'll take a look at this. Thanks for the recommendation, AGG, because of course I've been really busy, so I don't have a lot prepared for you. I just have a couple articles that give the background of this whole thing, and I'm kind of watching all the videos and everything that I can because I'm working on an upload myself on the main channel. So also I uploaded a really cool video game that you all need to see called Faith, the Unholy Trinity. And Kelly, I did give you a link to a Faith video, Faith, the Unholy Trinity video made by the guy who does all the spooky videos. It's like really good. And he's like, you know what I'm saying? He just got married. Oh man, his name will come to me. Oh, and now they bring it up because he's openly going against the people he used to hang out with. There's more too, but that's some of it. And it's good. Awesome. Just saw it the other day. Looked into it also. I'm right there with you. Yeah, I just want to know what happened. Look, here's the deal, y'all. When you have celebrities like Brand and Johnny Depp and several others, and they get accused of this kind of thing, a lot of people will believe it because they look at celebrities and that kind of lifestyle that is, you know, accepted there amongst that whole kind of rich person, super celebrity, flying around, kind of meeting people from everywhere, and then, of course, banging people everywhere lifestyle. And so they're like, yeah, cool. But the issue here is Russell. Let me give you an example from a tweet that I saw. Somebody said that Russell admitted to sleeping with and it was a huge number. It was something like, it was more than busy when he's hanging with the donuts. I said more than you. It was like 1,000 women a month or something, which would be like how many a day? Like 12? I don't know. That could be too much. But anyway, I guess it's more than 12. No, it's not. Anyway, though, so the point is that a lot of people were like, you mean out of all of these women that he slept with, you've got this huge investigation by several news agencies, and they can only come up with like 3 allegations against him. And of course, there is a breakdown why some of these allegations are probably, while you might have one that is could be substantial, one of them is a 16-year-old. And the issue there is that the country, or the state, the country that Brand was in, she being 16 was consensual. That's the age of consent in that country. Now, a lot of people wouldn't care. They would say, no, you still got to be 18. But that's when you're from the US. If you're from a country where, you know what I mean? I don't know how that works. I'm just saying. I don't know how it works. Though, part of her story about her and Brand was that she had admitted X amount of time ago, and we might see this in the article that we look at, she had said that ever since it happened, she now believes that she was too young to give consent. And that, I'm not saying that's true, but if you go to Twitter, those are the really big posts about the subject. So we really need to kind of look at what the actual allegations are before. I'm going to tell you the same thing I tell you in every story. Do not assume things against him or for him. I'm saying or for him, so I'm not telling you to defend him. Do not go one way or the other. A lot of people thought Johnny Depp was guilty for years because he didn't say much, and there was just a lot of stuff that was constantly thrown at him. The media was spreading around the stuff that was negative for him. I am boring you. I'm rambling. I've already gone past my 10 minutes. We need to get moving. Oh, more than busy. Exactly. AGG. Hey, Dad. Good to see you, buddy. Glad you're here. Let's get through this, guys, because I have a lidocaine patch on my back, and that's why I'm going to warn you. Well, I'll do it after the Brand article. I'm going to finish the article, and then I'm going to talk to you, and then I'm going to get off here because I'm not going to stream long. I will be streaming earlier in the day if I stream because I do have back problems. I do have other problems. And right now, later in the evening, I have to kind of nurse my back. I got to take care of my back. And it's because I've been more active. I do have like the injury, and I've been more active. And I probably messed myself up by being more active in the last few months. And this is why, you know, it's probably wasn't a good idea for me to be more active. It's okay. It'll be okay. Let's just get into this. So, okay, I know what we're doing. So we need to close this because we're done with that. And Nate shared, I was looking at Nate's drama. Okay. We need to find this article really quick. Wow. Wow. Oh, I see. This is the guy that Nate was fighting with. Okay. See, Nate, what you're going to realize is you can't criticize anybody on YouTube, because the minute you criticize anybody, they're going to cry and whine that you're attacking them. Now, sometimes people do attack other people, but I'm just saying, when you actually do criticize... Uh-oh, hold up. Nate says, timeline of hashtag #MeToo. First, believe all women and all men are liars. Next, Johnny Depp happened. Now, believe all men and all women are liars. Me, believe facts and test evidence. Trust but verify. And Nate, that's why I follow you. Even before you blew up, that's why I always hung with you, because you are facts first. Okay, dive into the Russell Brand controversy with Mark. Using AI, we decode brand statement for signs of deception. What is the truth behind the headlines? We don't need that. Oh, we got... see here. Analyzing insane Russell Brand evidence. Oh, is this Nate's video? Oh, good. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. We got this article, and this is the first article that came out against Russell Brand. Now, here's the problem with this article. I'm only going to read select parts of it, and I'm going to not show it on the screen while I'm reading it, because it was put behind a paywall from thetimes.co.uk. And I'm going to criticize the Times before I get into this article. If you're going to come out with an article like this, and it's going to be the first, and or not the, it may not be the first, but you get what I'm saying. If it's going to be one of the bigger accusational kind of releases for this issue, how in the world are you going to put it behind a paywall and then expect people to believe what you're saying? Like, you are monetized. I don't care if you monetize it with ads. I don't care if you monetize it in other ways, but you can't read this. Therefore, you can't read the accusations against him initially unless you pay them. So they're trying to basically say, oh, people are going to want to read this. Now they're going to have to pay to read it, and I don't like that. So, of course, because it is a paid article, I'm going to be very careful about what I read to you from it. Though, listen to this. Russell accused of R, SA, and A. 4 women, including one that was just 16, make allegations after an investigation by the Sunday Times, The Times, and Channel 4 dispatches. So this news agency that monetized this article was part of the investigation into him. These are, I don't care who it is, not because it's Russell Brand, anybody. That all just screams, what? Why? It's like, if you wouldn't have done this stuff, maybe more people would have trusted you here. So let's see what they say. I'm going to skim it, and then I'm going to let you know what it says, because, of course, I can't show it to you because it's a paid article. I'm just going to give you the tidbits and tell you what the main points are. First, they say that 7-year period at the height of his fame is when this happened. 4 women between 2006 and 2013. And it was when he was a presenter for BBC Radio 2 and Channel 4, and then an actor in Hollywood films. So wait a minute. He was working for y'all. Wow. And others have claimed that he was abusive, controlling, and predatory. He denied them and said all of his relationships were completely consensual. So one woman says that he R'd her in LA at his home, and she was treated at an R crisis center on the same day. Text messages show in hours after leaving, she told him that she had been scared by him and felt taken advantage of. When a girl says no, it means no. Brand replied he was very sorry. Now hold on though, because Nate shared this actual text message. The text message wasn't no that she wouldn't do it with him. It was no that he had to use a condom. And she said, no, you have to use a condom. And he said, oh, I didn't. You know what I'm saying? So that's strange. Okay, let's keep going. A second woman alleges that Brand did this to her when she was 31. And what? A second woman alleges that Brand did this when he was 31 and she was 16 and still at school. And he referred to her as the child during an emotionally abusive and controlling relationship that lasted about 3 months. Okay, but they don't add that she was, that was the age of consent in that country. They don't add that in, and I wonder why. Because in the United States, where where people are reading this, they're assuming that this is happening where she's underage. Wow, why wouldn't they put that in? I don't. Okay, so all of them said that they never wanted to speak about this until reporters had come to them and talked them into it. And they said that because Brand, quote, had newfound prominence as an online wellness influencer. Wellness influencer. I've never seen him as a wellness influencer, but they keep calling him that. Or a guru. I guess a guru is the same thing as a wellness influencer. Yeah. So others have accused him of bullying and stuff like this. These women who do not know each other have chosen to remain anonymous. Over the past few years, reporters have been interviewing hundreds of sources who worked with him, ex-girlfriends and friends and family. And out of hundreds, you found 4 people that... So, along with interviews, they have seen private emails and text messages. They viewed medical and therapist notes. You're not allowed to look at that? What? They went through his books and interviews. They went through his show on the BBC and YouTube. They're saying that Brand maintained his fame through reinvention. I would say that no, that whatever he decided to do, he just became famous doing it. And again, this is coming from someone who didn't really like him that much. So, hi, Wicked. Good to see you. He talks philosophy, how to love, what to think. Oh, thank you, Voodoo. I probably just haven't been recommended those videos is why, because I don't watch that kind of stuff on YouTube, so they didn't recommend it to me. So thank you for that. They say that throughout them interviewing people that there were rumors of more sinister behavior. The woman's stories, now publicly told for the first time, shine a light on his mistreatment of women behind closed doors and on the industry that enabled him. I don't know how you can say that yet, but okay. So the Times and Sunday Times gave him 8 days to reply to detailed allegations. So you took years and you gave him 8 days? Wow. I don't know why they thought this would sound good. Though, if you... I'm probably just crazy. And again, I'm saying that if Brand did this, that means he's bad and they're bad. Okay? Don't think that just because I criticize the news, I'm not saying Brand's off the hook. I don't know about it yet. I gotta wait until we see the facts. Brand has denied all of it. Okay? Okay. As of course he would. No matter what. Okay. So, Brand's lawyers characterize this as deliberate and a part of a preconceived strategy aimed at damaging their client. They said that the publication is a concerted campaign. I mean, sorry, it's a little weird. Their client believes that there is a deeply concerned agenda to all this, namely the fact that he is an alternative media broadcaster competing with the mainstream media. Oh yeah, that actually is a point. He does criticize these news broadcasts, but that doesn't mean that this didn't happen, okay? Okay. We're gonna watch this video in just a... Wait, this might be a link to it. Let's see. I'm not reading that. We're gonna watch it. So they've changed her name to protect her identity. I'm not going to read all these details. I just want to know the major facts. I'm skipping a lot. All right. Okay. Now, let me just go and pull one thing up on Twitter now that you have a backbone for what the main issue was. And AGG gave us a video we're going to take a quick look at. Then we'll look at Russell Brand's, and then we'll be done with the brand thing because I got to get off here. All right, so here we go. Let's take a look and see what Twitter is telling us today because I looked yesterday. Brandon Herrera says, "This is big news for creators, especially myself. Russell Brand hasn't been convicted of any crime, but they're deplatforming him anyway to protect their community. What happens when they decide my congressional run is a threat to their community later? We can all be next." He's responding to a New York Post article. YouTube suspends for making money on the site after these claims. Blair White says, YouTube revoked Russell Brand's monetization. I don't know if he's guilty or not. I'm awaiting due process, she's saying, to make up her mind, because I don't convict or exonerate people in my head based on if I like them or not. But YouTube should also wait for due process. This is a slippery slope. I thought the same thing. Candace Owens, these are just the people that it's recommending to me in the front, obviously, but I'm struggling to comprehend how YouTube can completely demonetize somebody based on allegations when there were actual drug dealers and convicts that currently have YouTube channels. How does this make sense? It didn't to me. This person says, these are the guys defending Russell Brand. I don't see anybody defending him. I see everybody saying that he hasn't... They're saying that they don't like the way this happened. That's not defending him, because they would have said the same thing if it happened to you or anyone else. Russell Brand being accused of R, including a 16-year-old. See, again, look at what they're doing here. I don't like it. I think he's a creep for having a sexual relationship at the age of 31 with the 16-year-old, okay? Though, here's the thing. In the country that he was in, or the state he was in, wherever he was... That's all I know. Wherever he was, that was the age of consent. I can't tell you where it was, of course, because they have been locked down a lot of these details. But we know for a fact, because of what the witness said, that that was the age of consent. And it makes you think that he is committing, you know, escatory, I don't want to say that word, R, I don't want to say that word either. They always do this to us. What in the world? These are the guys defending Russell Brand. So this person is trying to say that the people defending Brand have R'd 16-year-old. It's so gross. The bat signal has gone out. Russell Brand is to be deplatformed and removed from polite society. They will all fall into line now. This is from Carl Benjamin. And... when Russell Brand was a liberal, nobody accused him of anything. Now that he's a conservative, he's apparently R'd everybody in their mud. I thought he was... like, I just read something that said that he was a libertarian, and I swear that libertarians aren't conservatives. I could just be wrong, though. Here's the last one. Nina Infinity. I don't recognize her, so I'm going to read hers. They're coming for men who stand up to the machine. Russell Brand spoke out against the establishment, Big Pharma, and the military-industrial complex. Tim Ballard rescued kids and women. And we know from Epstein case how many powerful people are involved. Oh, there's a lot. And it seems more and more like they are being targeted. Okay. Well, let's jump back to Nate the Lawyer's Twitter and see if I can find one more thing here. So... Nate says this, I love how each side jumped to conclusions day one. Brand is totally innocent. Brand is totally guilty. As of now, I don't know, but it's not looking good if the evidence is true. So innocent until proven guilty. I like that. Also, I watched the doc and read the article. I don't know what doc he's talking about. They claim the text messages are verified. We will see if their lying brand has serious defamation lawsuit. Legal Mindset says verified text messages. Come on, Nate. Zero evidentiary value at this point, and we all know how easily text messages can be manipulated. We have actual zero evidence at the moment. It's sad. The Me Too moved the spectrum to the point where we take allegations as evidence. And Nate said, I look at the evidence and it looks really bad for Russell Brand. Our kit, verified text messages, and all the evidence looks bad. And it says from Andy Signor, it's wild how many accepted the Russell Brand conspiracy theory before even seeing one allegation. Now it's out and one alleged shares this text and took a kit. But folks go, why didn't she press charges after already questioning Danny Masterson's guilty conviction? Well, I don't even know what that means. And a lot of people are upset because if you look right here, you'll notice that the text is very thin, and then it's very bold, and then it's very thin. And if you look on the left side, and again, I don't know if this is real or not. Who knows? I'm just telling you what people on Twitter have been saying. So if you skirt down this, you'll notice that right here, the text jumps over. So the left line of the text jumps over a good 2 centimeters or something, right? So now you have some of the basic information. And before we look at Russell Brand's video, AGG recommended Philion's video, Celebrities or NPCs, and I just want to give it a quick look before we move on to Russell Brand's reaction, and then we can jump out of this topic because my back's already starting to hurt. But before that, let me look at the chat because I haven't in a minute. Hey, Jemima. Good to see you. Love you. I hope you're doing good. And I'm sorry, guys, that I haven't turned on anything. I'll turn on the chat over here at least because it's only 1 click or 2 clicks. Actually, it's probably way more than that, isn't it? I have everything turned off and recentered for recording, so gotta give me a minute here. Here, there it is. Oh, I haven't set it in. I'm sorry. Let me do it after this, okay? Dire Wolf, I have missed you so even more. And hi, Seren. I don't care if it was age of consent, he shouldn't do it. Well, I mean, look, in generally speaking about 31-year-old to 16, yes, that's what I said too. Yes, that was my point. I don't care, you know? So that's my opinion. Though the whole thing here is whether he broke a law and whether he did R, because that's what he's being accused of is R, right? You get me? Okay. But I agree with you. Yeah. And like I told you, I never really liked Russell Brand as an actor. I never saw him as a comedian. I had no clue he was a radio host or on the BBC. I just knew that he did these few movies that seemed to be really big when he did them. I think I saw Get Him to the Greek. It's one of the ones I saw. And then I know that he, oh, come on. Started a YouTube channel because I was recommended some of his stuff, but I didn't regularly watch him or anything like that. So anyway, here we go. AGG, Adventurous Guide to the Galaxy, recommended this video. Let's take a listen.
That celebrities are not real people. Once you get to a certain level of wealth and fame, you
Hey, Jemima.
stop relating to the rest of the world, and there's no going back. In reality, you're in it for the money, except you convince yourself that you're more important than you actually are. And your entire existence becomes weird and uncanny to anyone that follows you. Right now, there's a viral video floating around of Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis apologizing for sending letters on behalf of co-star and Scientologist Danny Masterson. For those of you who don't know, Danny Masterson has been a part of an ongoing investigation since 2017 when he was accused of sexual misconduct.
Isn't he guilty? Didn't he just get 30 years? Somebody let me know in chat if you know.
3 women, including his girlfriend at the time, accused.
Dead says Brand is a bit of a conspiracy theorist I've seen. Yeah, he definitely can be called that. Whether you say he's a libertarian, whether you say he's a conservative, whether you say he's right or left, you can definitely say he's definitely a bit of a conspiracy theorist. Sure.
At the height of his
we have to talk about a very popular conspiracy theory, Dead. And because you brought that up and I remembered, we can do it before I go offline because it's a really short thing. You're going to like this.
Career between 2001 and 2003. He was convicted on 2 accounts of plying.
Okay. Let me skip ahead.
Never want to do that. And we're sorry if that has taken place.
Our heart goes out to every single person who's ever been a victim of sex.
If you look here, the makeup, no accessories, no hairstyling, 5 o'clock shadow, plain t-shirts, very practiced, quote, will take turns speaking, concerned expression on their faces.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
You know, do an imitation of me, because certain
So
words
why are
you
you
just can't get
asking
away
people to
with.
do that? That's the more important question.
I mean, you got them.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Accent aside,
Everybody should grab.
that's the more important thing.
Exactly.
I've heard about you. And you'll be caught soon. I know you will.
I love Conan from back in the day. If you didn't know, Conan was the only late night host you could watch back in the day. Then that other guy came out, the dude with the accent. He seemed like he was like Irish or Scottish. You know who I'm talking about? Yeah. All right. We got Russell Brand, and he did a video. Oh, hold on. Now, hold on a minute. I just saw the damn thing. Yeah, here we go. He did a video responding to this before the articles dropped because the BBC and the other 2 news agencies gave him an 8-day grace period where they said he could respond to them with a statement, and instead, he did a video. Come here, Bowie. Come here, bub. I want to show you to everybody. Come here. Come here. Come here, you little teenager. I'm gonna get him to come over here. I'm gonna show him to you.
On this channel, but amidst the...
You can tell I've watched it already, but here we go.
Hello there, you Awakening Wonders. Now, this isn't the usual type of video we make on this channel where we critique, attack, and undermine the news in all its corruption, because in this story, I am the news. I've received 2 extremely disturbing letters, or a letter and an email, one from a mainstream media TV company, one from a newspaper, listing a litany of extremely egregious and aggressive attacks, as well as some pretty stupid stuff, like my community festival should be stopped, that I shouldn't be able to attack mainstream media narrative.
Exactly. I don't understand why they would cheapen or mix the serious allegations into a commentary on whether he should be able or permitted to speak on what he speaks on, right? And I definitely know how one thing that happens, you'll ask yourself, why would YouTube demonetize someone before the police have even announced anything, right? Like, because anybody can say anything about anybody. And one of the reasons is because what will happen is that news agencies will pressure YouTube. And I don't know what kind of pressure they use, but I know that advertisers have used pressure in the past to get YouTube to pull ads on certain channels. I know it sounds crazy, but it's absolutely true. And on certain types of content, so.
On this channel.
Hey, Dire Wolf.
But amidst this litany of astonishing, rather baroque attacks are some very serious allegations that I absolutely refute. These allegations pertain to the time when I was working in the mainstream, when I was in the newspapers all the time, when I was in the movies, and as I've written about extensively in my books, I was very, very promiscuous.
I'm sorry, y'all. You know, people, they should, more and more you end up realizing that you probably should not be promiscuous. You probably should not go the route of this kind of like new idea, this new movement where everybody is celebrated for doing drugs and running around and having like sex with everybody and all this. You should probably not go that route. You know what I'm saying? And I know you're going to call me a boomer. I've accepted my boomerality. I'm going to start, I'm going to put up a little sign behind me that says Boomer Nation. I don't know.
Now, during that time of promiscuity, the relationships I had...
Oh, 30 to life is what Masterson got. Thank you, Direwolf. Yeah, thank you, Dead.
Absolutely, always consensual. I was always transparent about that then, almost too transparent. And I'm being transparent about it now as well. And to see that transparency metastasized into something criminal that I absolutely deny makes me question, is there another agenda at play? Particularly when we've seen coordinated media attacks before, like with Joe Rogan when he dared to take a medicine that the mainstream media didn't approve of, and we saw a spate of headlines from media outlets across the world using the same language. I'm aware that you guys have been saying in the comments for a while.
If you want to see the rest of this, you're more than welcome to go to Russell Brand's channel and watch the video, So This Is Happening. How long did that take me? 40 minutes? I said 10 minutes. It took me 40. I'm getting better. I'm getting better at this. I have to start doing less long live streams. I have to. It takes all of my ability to upload videos away from me. Because as if you didn't watch my Twitter space, I did a Twitter space. I don't expect you to watch it because, of course, I hadn't done one in so long. But there were more people there than I thought would be. But my point is, I am going to talk to you guys for a brief moment at the end of this about what I've been up to and what I'm trying to do and what I might not do or what I might do. And I'm going to update you on court because I actually met you-know-who. And so let's do that. Though we do have one more piece of content that I want to talk about, which is the Younger Dryas. And I know some of you are going to say, what in the ever-loving world is the Younger Dryas? So about 12 to 15,000 years ago, and if I'm wrong in that time span, it'll be corrected in a moment by the video we're going to watch. In fact, I might just go ahead and do the update now and then talk about this before we go off the air. The Younger Dryas essentially is an impact theory where an asteroid supposedly hit the Earth. Now, there's a lot of different things out there that will back up this theory. It might be 30 to 40,000. They'll update me when we play the video. So the Younger Dryas there will be things like they'll talk about how a woolly mammoth went extinct. There's all these extinction events, these civilization events where these civilizations broke down. These fauna, these plants died all at once on the Earth, and they've attributed, at least certain, like Graham Hancock and other people have attributed a lot of these things to a theory called the Younger Dryas. So essentially it is a theory that there was a asteroid impact that hit the Earth that caused a massive amount of change and a massive amount of shifting. I don't think, maybe I'm wrong in saying 12 to 15,000. It probably was 30 to 40,000. It's basically at the end, or it was either the end of the Ice Age or it caused an Ice Age. Anyway, the video we're going to watch will describe more of that, but just so some of you that might want to leave and not hear me ramble on about what some people do consider a conspiracy theory and not anything real, the Younger Dryas, let me give you an update on me. I'll try to make it fast because I know that that sounds absolutely boring, because I am not a celebrity as much as there are people out there that are obsessed. Here we go. Jemima, I agree. Alien clone, a clone, an alien clone, whatever. And I tried to do a transition and I missed the button, probably because I'm out of practice. So I had my court date a couple days ago, and I obviously can't talk to you about it. Now, I don't appreciate the fact that there are these tricks being used by some other YouTubers who are pretending that they are not working in concert with the other person when they absolutely are. And at the same time that they are doing that, they're spreading absolute lies about what happened. And I don't care to go into that at all, because it went the absolute best that it could have possibly went for me and my family as it could have gone. And there is no doubt to that. I could bring up 15, 20 different things to back up what I'm saying. Of course, I'm not going to, but I'm just saying this whole thing, of course, from the beginning, I will repeat my initial claim, which is that it's been a lie and it's frivolous. Because if you just go and watch the videos that I did, you will see that I did not do anything different than what every YouTuber does. And for people to act like we should not be able to do those things, for people to pretend that it's okay that this has happened, it's just disgusting. Because they're basically, you know, when they find themselves in a position, because especially for people who don't do what I do, which is to make sure that I present you a source. Remember how I always tell you that I present the source of what I'm talking about, not just to protect the person I'm talking about, but to protect myself. Right? I've told you guys this since the beginning. And what this is going to do is it's going to flip around and expose people out there that have decided that they're just going to kind of milk lies and drama about this. It's kind of weird. These same people will tell everybody that how irrelevant and all this stuff that I am, and I will always say, yeah, I'm irrelevant. Obviously, I don't claim to be a celebrity or anything like that. But at the same time, though, they treat me as if I'm some kind of celebrity. But anyway, so not only I could just go on and on and on about how good it went, though. Can't talk to you about court, wouldn't be proper, but I will tell you that one thing that happened when I walked in is that they decided to stand outside and film and hold a camera in my face. And I don't want to go into too many details because my rights were violated when this person decided to then record me inside of the courthouse, and I have to handle that and defend my rights because I wasn't able to talk with my family and everyone else there about what we were going to say and do and prepare, because I had him doing this improperly when we went in. Though there were so many just... Here's the deal. Let me speak generally. When you notice people online who get so upset, well, their entire internet presence is them talking about others and interacting with others. And when they interact with others and they talk about others, they don't present facts, they don't present evidence, they don't even treat people nicely, they don't treat people with respect because they themselves don't have any and they're not, you know, any kind of a good person. And you see those kind of people out there, and you say to yourself when you're watching them on YouTube, they have to be this, you know, just like this kind of person when they're not on the screen. And it's absolutely true. I mean, I can't go into too many details until this thing's done. Wow, the videos that we're going to have when this thing is done. I just, you know, you ask yourself why you don't get these certain people out there that why can't they be at least somewhat professional 1% of the time? You find out really quickly when these things happen in person. But either way, it's gone the best it could possibly go. And yeah, I'm just thankful. I'm happy. Though I don't want to talk about that because I shouldn't talk about that. I shouldn't go into detail about that. So let's talk about what I've actually been up to in my personal life, due to the fact that I get you guys asking all the time and I just can't respond to everybody. So let me respond to everybody right now real quick. As you know, I started working so that I could pay my lawyer more money. And I failed, so I had to represent myself. So one thing that happened, as I told you, when I went to represent myself, was that I didn't have to make this payment anymore, you know? And so I was able to kind of reshift things. You know, when I'd started to try to work and make money to pay the lawyer, I had to shift things so that I could do that. And I've been able to shift things back to where I'm at home way more often. And though, again, I didn't just pick up those activities, you know, working, networking, again, meeting people and doing business with people and stuff like that. Those weren't the only activities I picked up. I also had started going to church before the entire Molly banning incident. Eventually I'm going to check and see when I first started going to church so I can give you a month. but it was well before Molly got banned and all that. Though, as I'm going to church, all these things are happening because I'm meeting all of these like super polite, respectable, nice people, because obviously they just seem to be the kind of people that go out and hang out with others. You know, you kind of got to be nice and respectable to others or else people aren't going to hang out with you. So I'm making these connections, and I got invited to join the VFW. So one thing about the VFW, Veterans of Foreign Wars, is that you end up meeting a bunch of people, and you end up going and doing things in your community with church, and you do even more things in your community with the VFW. So the thing is, regardless of what happens, even if I'm doing YouTube, you know, just as much as I used to, I'm still going to be doing church in the VFW. So I'll be able to work those things in very easily and still get out content. But if I'm working full time, I can't, right? I mean, that is going to take time away from me doing YouTube. Now, I bring this up for a reason. It's because I have been given an opportunity. Because as you know, when you get out there and you start networking and you start talking to people, you start meeting people, people find out what kind of training you have, what kind of certificates you have, what kind of work you've done in the past. It opens up new doors. And as you meet new people, you end up meeting more people. And I've been given this crazy opportunity. I don't know if I'm going to take it or not. You know, I don't know what I'm going to do is what I'm saying. I mean, I probably am going to take the opportunity. I'm just saying I don't know what I'm going to do. So regardless of how I handle it, I'm not going to stop doing YouTube. I told you guys that I was taking a break before any drama happened. I told you I was taking a break in the summer. It's littered all through my live streams leading up to the summer. And as I'd taken the break, one thing that happened was that it just extended further because I was just getting all of these doors opening for me that were just these great things happening in life, as it will be. I mean, you just assume that, you know, that is going to happen when you get out and meet a bunch of people and you end up networking with a bunch of people, especially a bunch of people who, you know, are just have the same kind of training you have, the same kind of past that you have worked their whole lives like I have. So the whole point I'm trying to make is that it wouldn't matter if I decide I'm going to work full time. Let's say in a month I decide I'm going to work full time. I'll still be here doing YouTube. What would YouTube look like if I'm working full time? I probably would be uploading. You guys, I don't know if you saw the video I uploaded about that video game. The last video on rockAlot that I uploaded. It's this video game that has this really big story. It's about this priest who tries to help this girl who's been possessed by a demon, okay? By the way, if you haven't seen that, it's one of the best video games ever made, and it's being praised by so many people right now. And I really do, even if you don't watch me play it, because that's what I uploaded, a playthrough of that game, I really suggest that you search Faith, the Unholy Trinity, and look for this video, because I tried to give, I hope that it shared to Kelly on Twitter. It's by Wendy Goon. Yeah, Wendy Goon is great, but the game too scary for 3D. Now, this game, I uploaded me playing it, and the game looks like this. And you're like, that looks like an Atari. Yeah, but the thing about it is that's not the only graphics in this game. In fact, let me find a little... I know what to do. Let me show you something. Like, here's a video from 3 weeks ago. The simplest and scariest horror game you never played. It really is. It's terrifying. Man, I wish I could find... Oh, here we go. Cutscenes. Rotoscope. So here's what this looks like. Watch. This is some of the jump scares in the game. I don't want to spoil the game for you, so that's all you're getting. But that's the video game I've been uploading on rockAlot. I'm going to keep uploading, and if you don't watch it through me, please go watch Wendy Goon's video on it. You will love it. He goes through the entire story. It is one of the most insane things I've ever read, seen, or watched. Movie, book, or whatever. It's one of the craziest ones. One of the best stories I've seen. Okay. if I do decide to start working more, what I'm going to do is just probably upload videos where I give commentary on UNIRock 2 and gameplay videos over here while I'm working. Now, don't think I'm telling you that's what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to do. I've got all these doors open. My life could change in any way I want it to change, and I could go out and do anything I want. No matter what I do, I'm still going to upload to YouTube. I'm still going to be on YouTube, okay? People have been coming up with all these crazy ass lies and conspiracy theories. It just never stops. And that's what I've separated myself from in this taking this break. Not only that, I've separated myself from a lot of toxic liars and just people. You could probably look at the obvious content creators who I had been interacting with to some small degree that I've separated myself from. But even people who I thought were cool people that were chilling with me here or there, I've had to separate myself from them due to the fact that they just wouldn't keep their word. They just wouldn't, you know, be up front and forward about things. So, you know, that's what that time period has done. So that allows me not to be distracted by what I now know was a lot of people that who I thought were constantly demanding a lot of my time for a good reason. I found out that they weren't. They weren't demanding my time for any type of good reason. And for years, that was causing me to have taking time away from my ability to produce. So this is basically, it doesn't seem like it from the outside looking in, but it's freed up a massive amount of time for me to go back and just do normal commentary where I upload what I think of trending topics to UNIRock 2. And I do these kind of like video essays on UNIRock 2. And then I do other cool stuff and random stuff and just more stuff here on rockAlot. And that's always going to happen. I'm not, if I was going to stop, I would come and tell you. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, everything is the same. I got married. I got my dog. By the way, I want to show you my dog because he went from this big to this big to this big. He's kind of big now. It's really, really cool raising a little pup like that. It really is. It's so crazy. But, you know, things in my life are going better than they ever could have gone. I'm proud of my children. I'm proud of my other members of my family and my wife. Everything's just perfect. You know, I couldn't ask for a better life. I've never been able to ask for a better life, and I've always been appreciative. And I've always hoped the same for all of you. And that's been, you know, part of just a given when it comes to us hanging out together. And of course, the fact that you're going to hang out with all these other YouTubers that you like to watch. I'm just not going to be letting people control my time anymore. There's too many good things that I can be out there doing that I thought I had either been too, you know, I thought I'd been taken away from my ability to do a lot of those things. And I mean, it only took me a week. It only took me a week of networking and talking to people before I was plugged right back into everything in a snap of a finger, you know? So I guess that's one of the reasons why we all get out of high school and we go and get educated and we go and work and we get certificates and we put our skills to the test and do things, you know, it's so that we always will be able to, if we do that, we will be able to fall back on that anytime in the future if you do it right. And so hopefully that will be something that I know those are things that you tell your family members if you're older now. And if you're younger, you know, you should take that advice, in my opinion. Let me go wrangle up my dog, though. If you have anything you want to ask me, now is the time in the comments section, because after I show you my dog, I'm going to look at the comments, and then I'm going to show you this new scientific breakthrough, this new scientific, well, I'm not going to call it a breakthrough because it's not a fact yet, but it is a scientific refutation of something that a lot of people took as a fact. So let's take a look at that real quick after I grab my dog. If I can get him over here. Let me see. Oh my gosh, you smell so good. Why you always smell so good? Look at this thing. Look at this. Look at this. Hey, there. Say hi, Bowie. Can you look in the camera? Pretty boy. Look at that pretty dog. Smells so good. He just had a bath. Oh, cuddly, cuddly woo. He's my cuddly moo-moo. I found an Iron Maiden mobile game. You better be telling me. Do I just search Iron Maiden mobile? Because I'm playing it. I am playing it. I'm playing that thing. Hey, can't chat. Good to be here. Got a few things to do. Ninja, I'm glad you got things to do. And thanks for saying hi. Great to see you. Where's my vape? Okay. Thank you, Siren. I don't see how a larger planet can crash into Earth without destroying everything. Well, yeah, a planet, sure. And let's take a look at... Now, I very much respect this YouTuber, Anton Petrov. Very much respect him. I've watched him for many years. He talks about scientific papers. He talks about scientific discoveries, mostly concerning space and things like that. But this is him saying that the concept of the Younger Dryas is been refuted. Now, here's the deal. It hasn't been refuted and it hasn't been confirmed. Essentially, there is just no evidence one way or the other is what they're claiming. Of course, people that believe in or push the Younger Dryas claim that there is a Younger Dryas. Take a listen.
Approximately 4 years ago, there was a major discovery of an exciting crater in Greenland, discovered by one of the programs ran by NASA that was essentially responsible for scanning different glaciers through radar mapping in order to discover what's underneath. And here the major discovery was a really large crater.
Okay, so this crater was assumed to be from the impact of a space object, you know, like a meteor, an asteroid.
A crater formed by a major impact that was smaller than the one that killed the dinosaurs, but still large enough to potentially influence the planet in some extreme way. And because of this actually gave a lot of excitement to this somewhat controversial hypothesis. Or basically it brought it back into view, giving it potential evidence. The idea known as the Younger Dryas impact hypothesis. An idea that's actually supported by only a very small minority of scientists, but that in the last few years tried to use a lot of different types of evidence, including different types of deposits, in order to explain the unusual cooling period known as the Younger Dryas.
A cooling period, an ice age, essentially, feel me?
A period
Hello,
that started
whatever, good to see you.
12.9 thousand years ago and lasted for approximately 1,000 years, which then led to the sudden end of glaciation and the beginning of the modern Holocene age. But exactly what happened here was always kind of questioned. And although the most accepted and probably the easiest explanation involves a melting of a glacier that basically changed the distribution of water and the currents on the planet, the explanation that always sort of captured attention was the one involving potential impact. An impact that might have occurred approximately 12.9 thousand years ago.
Okay, I was right. The first time, 12.9 thousand years ago, is what they believe when this impact happened, okay?
And
so now, they're saying that a glacier melted and it caused the distribution of water throughout the world. And of course, you're going to think biblically that around 12 to 15 to 18 to 20, maybe lesser, maybe 10,000 years ago, we talk about the major record of religious texts in our world, all around the world, pointing toward a flood or a flooding Earth. Okay?
Could have maybe changed the conditions on the planet just enough to cause the cooling and to possibly even cause an extinction event, because we know that the Younger Dryas also sort of correlates with the major disappearance of megafauna.
Okay, so things like a lot of plants and animals died off, went extinct, or their numbers just shot down. Civilizations that were pretty big dispersed and kind of disappeared out into the rest of the world. There are a lot of things happen right at this time. Now, a lot of things would happen with a shift in, and I'm done, of course. We're not going to watch the rest of this. I do hope that you will go watch Study completely refutes Younger Dryas impact hypothesis, and just get a backbone for what's being said there, because one of my favorite YouTube channels is Y-Files. W-H-Y space files. Okay, like X-Files, but Y, W-H-Y. And they've got a lot of videos that factor the Younger Dryas into some of the videos they talk about. And again, at the end of the video and in the comments section and out on the internet, a lot of people have come to say that the Younger Dryas has not been refuted and the Younger Dryas has not been confirmed. It's still a hypothesis. And that hypothesis does explain a lot of these different, factors we've seen on the Earth 12 to 15, 13,000 years ago, whatever you think it would be. An impact would explain it. But then again, lots of other things could explain it. And this is why a lot of people don't realize how complicated history really is. Because as I have been going to church, one thing I've had to do is reread the Bible. In fact, I've been rereading the Bible on a constant basis since I started going to church a year ago, or a little less than a year ago. Now, I've been reading the Bible my entire life with a little bit of a period in the middle where I didn't read it much at all. Though I've always been a person, as you guys know, or those of you that watch me know, that studies any religion I can get my hands on. I'll read any book that is from the past, especially books from these libraries like the Nag Hammadi library that was discovered in the 50s that has a bunch of extra books that talk about certain religious texts, the Dead Sea Scrolls, and many other different discoveries, along with the Assyrian text, the Zoroastrians, and what they believed, the Native Americans. I study all of it, the Egyptians. I love that stuff. I think that our ancestors, which are the people that lived before us on this earth, going back long periods of time, I think we should be listening to the things that they left for us, the things that they said, and I think we should be taking it and factoring it into our worldview, factoring it into our logic, and factoring it in, taking the lessons that we can take from it, and taking the mistakes that we can take as mistakes that we can learn from also. So anyway, one thing that's so crazy about history and science is how much it changes. And one thing I've been looking at, just to give you an example, over the last month, is I've been looking at many people who have an issue with dating. No, not getting on the internet and finding somebody to go out with. How they date certain rocks, minerals, axes, old tools, bodies, bones, certain animal fossils and animal bodies. And I've been looking at how there's a lot of people that are trying to refute modern dating techniques. There's a lot of people that are trying to say that it's a conspiracy theory or it's woo-woo, and that these scientific techniques that date these different things are very scientific and that they can't be debunked. And I've been going back and forth looking at all these arguments, trying to figure out, where is there some content to be found that won't bore you? Because it takes a lot of stuff to get some of this presented, and I want to present things really short. So that's what I've really been trying to focus on, and I find it just fascinating how, for a good few years, everybody on the internet has accepted the Younger Dryas being a fact. And I look at it not as a fact from the beginning. I look at it as something that they think is a fact due to these properties, these facts, these tests, these details that they have. And I'm always looking at it with that mindset. Is it true? Right? Or is it, are the people that are saying it's not true lying? Is there an agenda? And really, I'm glad that Dead GPK said that and got me. And by the way, shout out to Nate the lawyer. I know he's having some arguments with people and having some things going on. He is just, man, don't think that there's only drama going on one side of everything. Right now, people are just stirred up. People are stirred up. There's a lot of people out there that want your attention, and I don't think you should give it to any of them. I think you should do a reset. I think you should get out there and do what you want to do. Follow what you want to follow. If something gets suggested to you and you are just tired of seeing it, you can do what I do and just hit do not recommend, unsubscribe. You can just tell YouTube that you don't want to see it, and you can go back and resubscribe some other time if you ever want to, and go out and start looking for some new stuff. Even if you want to keep looking at all the drama that you look at, go find some new stuff to look at, because oh my goodness, the tunnel vision that people have right now. And it just is so weird. And a lot of, let me do a rapid fire outro real quick, because I got to go. I want to stream with you all night. I want to stream with you all day tomorrow. I want to stream and stream and stream. I cannot. It's not smart. It's not smart for me to do that. It's smarter for me to upload and do some minimal streaming. And it would respect your time more if I did shorter streams, more to the point streams. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to respect your time, and I'm going to fight for your attention when it comes to what, if you'll watch my content, hopefully by putting out something that will interest you. That's how I want to get your attention, and that's what I'm going to do. So let me go ahead and rapid fire answer some of the stuff that you guys have been asking me or sending me or whatever that I've been seeing, even though, you know, it's been a sporadic thing for me to look, because I know that my puppy wants me to come sit with him and rub his belly, and I want to do that. It's belly rubbing time. It is good content. It is. Dead GPK, that's how you do it, buddy. That's how you do it. Make sure you go watch the Y-Files. He just did another banger of a video, though. Let me see. What else have I been watching? I've been watching a lot of shows like AVGN and GameSack. Anton, that channel I just showed you. Nate, I've been looking at Nate's stuff here and there, and some Yellow Flash and some other guys, but yeah. Oh, there's a great channel, Retro Game Corpse, where he reviews these little, I've told you about him, I think. He reviews these little devices that you can fit in your pocket. They're like Nintendo Switches, but they're not Switches, they're computers. Tech. I saw a guy build he took a Super Nintendo, cut everything off of it, put a screen on it, and made a portable Super Nintendo. One of the best video I've seen in forever. Oh, let me see. What else? So much stuff. Watch. Oh, here's something I've got for any of you guys that know that how good I am at recommending things for you to watch. One Piece on Netflix. It's called One Piece. It is an anime that they turned into a live action show. It is so good. One Piece is so good. It is good. Good. I mean it. Oh man, Adventure. Star Trek Deep Space Nine. I'm on season 5. I've only been up to like season 3 of Deep Space Nine because I always go back and watch The Next Generation. But I'm a new Star Trek fan. My whole life I didn't really watch it, and lately I've been watching it a lot. But yeah, it's great stuff, man. It's great stuff. I'm so sick of drama on YouTube. I am so sick of because it's fake. It's so fake, man. The majority of the stuff that people actually believe when they're out clicking around is so fake. Like, even stuff from bigger channels, you realize there's been a few things that have been exposed lately when it comes to these commentary videos. Like, if you've seen these commentators like June the King and others, there have been entire videos of theirs that have come out to be almost just completely false. And everybody believed that stuff up until recently. And it just boggles the mind. And what these people do you remember that 110 to Life who did a video on Dre, and she went and tried to basically she watched all these YouTube videos, wrote down everything everybody was saying, and then presented it as the facts of what happened with Dre, and none of it was true. It was just all this drama, assumption, and she was presenting it all as if it was some factual history of what happened. That's been exposed to be a lot of what's been out there. You know, I'm just so tired of it, bro. Like, it's all so copy pasta. Everybody on YouTube is essentially trying to do the same exact thing. They all try to copy each other. It's just gross. One thing I do like, though, is Darkside Phil videos, Cyrax videos. I do like watching people do commentary on Darkside Phil and Cyrax. You might be seeing me do some videos on Darkside Phil and Cyrax. Smokey MCC, one of my favorite creators ever. Let me show you this guy. Because if you guys go to Smokey's channel, if you start watching Smokey, you will probably have enough content to last you the next week. He's live right now. Can you please work OBS Studio? Smokey MCC right here. One of my favorite creators ever. Jupiter the Hybrid. His last video, Jupiter the Hybrid, is so good. It is so good.
If you think that you'll be able to handle me, then that's on you.
My darkest fantasy is to watch all those who wronged me die by my hand.
Wow.
That's my darkest one.
Wow.
It's just one of my darkest fantasies.
Anyway, Smokey MCC, if you guys need some stuff to watch in the meantime, it's so good. Okay, guys, rapid fire stuff. Oh, let me check the chat. Lono! 9T. What's 9T? We need to keep playing Zelda, dude. I've been playing Starfield. I want to do some more streams of it. Oh, Twisted Metal. Okay. Yeah. Oh, Twisted Metal, yeah. Okay, Duck Station. It's a PlayStation emulator for your phone, and it works flawlessly. If you want to play Twisted Metal or any of the old PlayStation games, Duck Station. Mortal Kombat just came out. I want to get it. I don't have the money for it right now. But if we get a chance, we'll play some Mortal Kombat. Let me see. What else we got here? Oh, rapid fire. Anything I can think of. You guys have been asking me. Oh, man. I think I've hit everything, man. Oh, main thing. I don't hate anybody. For some reason, there's some people out there that think I'm against them or something. I'm not against anybody. Never have been. And I'm not for anyone that you don't know that I'm for, okay? I mean, I could use Menace to Sobriety as an example. I see Menace the exact same as I saw Menace a year ago. I don't have any different thoughts of anyone, save maybe like 2 people, I don't know, like, and those 2 people is not Navy or anyone like that. I don't have any ill thoughts. There's no ill anything towards anybody. I've unplugged myself from Discord months ago, just like I told you I would, and I took the break I told you I was taking. And you know, when I'm back into doing what I do, it'll be exactly the same as it was before. There's just so many lies out there, so many assumptions, and there's just, you know, part of it I maybe could blame on myself, because I could say that because I'm not responding to a lot of people and I'm not on the internet all the time, that some people are assuming things, but that's still not an excuse to assume things, to believe lies and all that. And I'm not here to convince you. I don't care if you want to believe that I'm fighting with people and I'm against all these people or something, and all these people are against me and all this garbage and there's all this drama happening. You can believe that, but it's not true. I don't know what else to say. That's all I can do. Everything is the same as it's always been. You know, a lot of people, I think, when they were watching content, they were only paying attention when there was drama happening. So the millions of times that we talked about taking a break in the summer, the millions of times that we talked about how the whole community would implode after Molly got banned or stopped or whatever. I don't know if they just didn't listen or if they thought that it was just, I don't know what they thought, but yeah, everything is the same as it's always been. And I know you're not going to maybe believe some of this when it comes to what I do on YouTube, the money I make. I mean, whatever it is, everything is exactly the same as it always is. Yeah, I haven't been making super chats and stuff like that because I haven't been streaming. But when it comes to just members and support and everything else, everything's the same as it's always been, y'all. So I don't know why there's all these weird assumptions. I think some of it's fake. I do think some of it's fake from people that want to push, that have narratives to push. Because one thing that I did say that I do think is more true than it's ever been is that people that we have exposed as scammers will hate us forever. And they will talk about it. If I was gone from the internet for 2 years, they would still be talking about me almost regularly when I came back 2 years later. Yeah, I mean, it just is never going to stop because to these people, they have like idolized falsely us for exposing them, or they have such a grudge that that's all they have. They only have hate. They only live by hate. And unfortunately, that cycle that I've always talked about when it comes to hate, when it comes to scamming, when it comes to you yourself giving into that kind of shit, it doesn't stop just because, you know, the people around you aren't there anymore. So when hating is all you have, and when this kind of like lying and scamming is all you have, it's all you think about, even into the future, once there's no one around you anymore that's relevant to it. And that's why you should never go down that road. Hopefully that's the one thing anyone can take away, is that you don't want to be like that. You don't want to give into that kind of thing. Because, man, oof. I got to bite my tongue on some stuff. Got to bite my tongue on some stuff here. Whoa, when it comes to the lawsuit, though. The lawsuit is basically every time there is a... And I'm not talking about our lawsuit in any kind of detailed way. I'm telling you the timeline of it. Here's how it works. So basically, after months and months and months go by where, you know, people can file stuff, we will have a court date. Now, when we go to that court date and the judge looks at the stuff that we've turned in, then the judge is going to set another court date months and months and months down the road. And it's going to happen like that. So I'm just really happy, honestly, that I'm representing myself because, like I've said, that I have help, you know, and I have pretty much the same help that I would have. It's just that instead of my lawyer filing stuff, I'm going to file it myself, right? So my point is that this whole thing is probably going, if we could have a court date every 2 weeks, it would be over in a couple months, right? But because there's going to be months in between every court date, it's probably going to be like 10 months or a year or something. You know what I mean? Yeah. I played MK on Switch. It runs and looks bad. Yes, it looks horrible on Switch. Lono, did you see Yang's video on it? If you haven't seen Yang's video, check it out. You probably have. But, oh yeah, they didn't optimize Mortal Kombat 1 for the Switch in any way, shape, or form. They just took their game and turned down the graphics to like -6,000 and put it out. It looks like a PS1 game. It looks like polygons in some of the screenshots. That would be a good video, wouldn't it? It'd be a good video to go grab all these like Switch images and to show people that. Yeah. Yeah. The storyline. I want to play the storyline. And if I can't play it, I want to watch it with you guys. Because when we've done that in the past, when it comes to South Park, the video game South Park, the Stick of Truth, the second South Park video game, and a Mortal Kombat, we've watched the story of the game on live stream before because we've wanted to experience it. And I want to, that's one thing I love about Mortal Kombat, is the storyline in that game is so good. It's just so, it's like a big movie, isn't it? And all these characters they're all fleshed out. They have their own motivations. They have their own things that happen. And some of them die gruesome deaths. It's great. It really is good stuff. Seems like everybody has the inside source on you, LMAO, says Dead. None of them have an inside source on anything. Because, look, with this whole court thing, nothing has really happened at all. Number one. Nothing has happened. So anyone that's telling you that anything happened is straight up lying to you. Nothing has happened on it. That's number one. We have to go back in a few months, and it's just one of these, like, it's just a normal a normal next step in the whole thing. And one thing though that did happen, it doesn't have to do with the process of it, is we know what we have to do now in order to actually, well, I can't go into details, but as I said in the beginning of the, or I'm sorry, the middle of this stream, when we went in, it was the best as it could possibly be for us and the worst as it could possibly be for anyone else. That's just a fact. Anyone that says the opposite is straight lying. And again, I will not leave you without you having the ability to fact check me. This is alleging that I defamed somebody. So if you want to know if I did or not, you can go look at the video that I did. I believe there were two, because I believe we did one and we had stuff left over for the second video. If you watch the live streams, those two live streams where it is alleged I defamed somebody, you will then know if I defamed somebody by watching it, hearing what I'm saying, and asking yourself if it's defamation. It's as simple as that. You can look up the definition to it. This is the same thing we did when we talked about the Katie Joy lawsuit with Toddy Westbrook. It's the same thing we did in other lawsuits that happened. We looked at the definition of what was being accused by one side or the other. We looked at the definition of what the defense was saying, and then we looked at the actual evidence and drew a conclusion where we could, of course, because we did look at one court case where some of that stuff was only available for things that had been submitted to court, because it didn't happen, the majority of it didn't happen on YouTube. Luckily, in this case, in the Toddy Westbrook case, everything that happened is alleged to have happened on YouTube in a video. So it's as simple as that. If you want to know whether who's right and who's wrong in this, you just simply look. You know what I'm saying? So I can tell you, though, the same thing I have told you since the beginning, which is I didn't defame anybody, and the proof is in those videos. So yeah, it's as simple as that. It has been cool to hang out. I missed you. Hello, Anon. Hello, Mary. Oh my God, this is a cluster fudge. It is, because I haven't streamed in a long time. So yes, my next couple streams, I promise you, is going to be a cluster fudge. I do like fudge instead of the other word, because the other word will demonetize me if I'm not already demonetized. Yeah, low no, but we do need to go back. Yeah, it's exactly like a movie. It is exactly, it's a good movie. It's not even a bad movie. That's the whole thing. Now, especially the South Park. If you go out and search South Park's Stick of Truth, I want to make sure I say the right one, and you search for the cutscenes. I think you just type cutscenes. You could search for Mortal Kombat 1 cutscenes, and you can kind of watch the movie of Mortal Kombat 1, and then the South Park... If you watch the South Park Stick of Truth cutscenes, it's like watching a South Park episode that you don't get copy claimed for watching on YouTube. It's like brilliant. I hope they make more and better games like that, because every game like that, it becomes this kind of like movie event that we can watch on live streams. It's excellent. It's too much to understand for some people, in my opinion. I really don't think it should be, because when if you look at what's there, there's only a couple claims. It's just basically claiming that certain things that I said was defamation. So you could, if you look at that and then you go back and listen to what I said, it's not defamation, plain and true. And I'm allowed to say that. Watch the Last of Us video game just on YouTube. Yeah, I do that with a lot of video games that I'm not going to play. God of War was one, because I have historically had PlayStation consoles, but for the last few years I don't. I've used Xbox consoles and computer. So any of the Xbox exclusives, PlayStation exclusives, I don't get to play those games unless I have a friend who will like loan them to me, and I have done that before. Now, a game that I really want to know the storyline to is the Final Fantasy, the new one that just came out, because it's supposed to be almost like a Game of Thrones Final Fantasy. We might have to do a live stream where we actually look at those cutscenes or something, because that I've had people tell me that the storyline for that game is freaking awesome. It's like an episode, it's like an episode of Game of Thrones if you don't have the in-between gameplay, because the gameplay being an RPG stretches it out. But yeah. We played out Last of Us over the spring. Oh yeah, Last of Us and what's that Indiana Jones guy on PlayStation? You know what I'm talking about. Those are really good. The Tomb Raider sometimes, not all of them. Some of the Tomb Raider games has really good cutscene movie kind of like cutscene. Anyway, so Diablo 4 and Diablo 2, I've been writing a little bit of a notes on comparing the two games. I haven't really seen anyone else do this, and this is a project I've been working on because I want to show people why Diablo 2 is a game that people will sink thousands of hours into, but Diablo 4 is not a game. Yeah, you might play Diablo 4 for a minute, but it's not the kind of game you can sink a lot of time into. But when you look over to Diablo 2, if you get the remastered or the new released version of Diablo 2, which I hope to actually get soon and play, maybe even with some of you guys on like Kick or something, that game is a game that you can still to this day put many hours into because the systems of the game are designed in an actual kind of like substantive way. And I want to do a video that shows why. I don't know if I will. You know, I get a lot of video ideas that I don't end up pushing through on, but that might happen. I've wanted to do the same thing with STARFIELD, but I wanted to do kind of a review on it, not comparing it to other Bethesda games, just a review, because I do have some major issues with STARFIELD, and I have some things I really love about that game. And I just have some ideas. So hopefully I can coalesce some of those. And one thing that's going to be bad is if I do really long live streams. So the live streams in the future, I'm going to try to keep them short and short and short. Ideal live stream is going to be like 30 minutes. And I'll be able to schedule it at least a few hours or a day ahead of time. I was actually going to schedule this for tomorrow. But then I fooled myself into thinking I could do this stream in 20 minutes. And now I've been live for an hour and a half. Like every time. Do you know which one is the new one? Could never keep track of the Final Fantasy games. I think it's 16. I could be wrong. Yeah, it's hard for me to keep track too. Though, I will tell you that at least the beginning of this new Final Fantasy is movie quality. The things that happen in the beginning, I don't know about past it. So, like, the first 3 hours of the game are literally like, you know, Final Fantasy VII kind of intro. Final Fantasy VII is a perfect game. Beginning, middle, end, and all through it. Okay? Now, I'm not saying anything more about Final Fantasy, the new one, other than the beginning of it is just like the intro to Final Fantasy VII. It sets you up perfectly. I don't ever expect it to be on the same grounds as Final Fantasy VII. Anyway. You know what I would like to do also? A video on Final Fantasy VII. Fallout 3. You know, what I'm trying to do is find my bigger, like, lasso, right? That'll take all these kind of things I have and find the commonality in them. One of the commonalities, I've been able to identify one, and it's nostalgia. So... now, there's a major issue in nostalgia being a commonality in the different videos that I want to do, and that is nostalgia is subjective. Every person, their nostalgia will change geographically and the age they are, so there has to be a way to kind of loop that together, and I'm getting there. You know what I'm saying? One thing, though, I want to do is follow the Russell Brand thing, and so we got another thing, too, that I haven't mentioned. You guys know that the Trump trial is going to be live streamed. I think we're going to watch it together. Final Fantasy XVI is the last one. 16? Okay, got it. Yeah, 16 is a... dude, that's a no-no. You got to tell me which part, because I've said like 900 things since you said that, so I'm sorry. I should have watched for you to say that. Starfield looks great, though. It does look good some of the time. Because then, like if you have a PC, it looks good the majority of the time, but the problem is it has an adaptive resolution. So when you get out, if it gets overwhelmed, it'll reduce the graphics, it'll reduce the fidelity of the graphics. I'm really not educated on how. So you'll know better than I will. All I'm trying to say, yes, Starfield looks great, but some of the time it looks horrible. And then there's a major issue. Let me just go ahead and tell you this real quick. And I know it's boring, but let me tell you this. One bad part of Starfield is the spaceships. So the spaceships are awesome, right? It's just they are really good. And the fact that you can build them however you want and fight them is awesome. Other than fighting them, though, other than using your spaceship to fight other ships, you don't fly them. Because all you do is select a destination and your ship goes there. You don't fly them. You don't fly them over a city. You don't fly them on a planet. You only fly them in the atmosphere or in space, the upper atmosphere of a planet. And then you'll have a dogfight sometimes. Or you might have an encounter sometimes. And so there's such a wasted potential. They have all these deep systems when it comes to the spaceship that you don't really get to use more than the slightest, tiniest bit. It's such a loss. It's such a waste. They should have incorporated the spaceships into the game in some kind of more focused way. You know, maybe you can't fly your ship everywhere, but maybe you can fly your ship from this place to this place, and this guy starts chasing you, and you can dip around and fly it through this canyon. You know what I'm saying? These things were not in Starfield. It's this grandiose thing, and I don't know if maybe they'll add it in later, or maybe Starfield 2 will add a lot of the stuff that Starfield 1 is missing. I guess we'll have to wait and see. I don't know. It will release on PC? Okay. I had to mess around with settings until I got Starfield looking good and running good enough. Yeah, luckily for me, it seemed to be running good enough the whole time, but I put it on pretty medium/low settings. I just, from the beginning, went in and set it to like, you know, whenever it comes to water and physics like that, I set it to low. I always put the textures on at least medium, if not high. And then I can kind of turn down some of the lighting occlusion and the ambient stuff, and it usually will run really good. So I had it running good, though I did notice that it would not frame rate dip as much, but the graphics would dip. It would reduce graphics because it does have the, I forget the name of it, but you know what I'm talking about, where the graphics will, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Yeah, they should have. Guys, I want to talk to you for hours, so I'm so sorry, but I do have to go. I do have to go. Because I still have, luckily the next couple days, enough time to do some content. My main focus is getting my uploads up. Because uploads are what brings subscribers. Uploads are what gets views. Live streams are not. Live streams just aren't that kind of thing. So I will see you later, okay? And keep an eye out. Because, you know, I will stream, and hopefully I'll figure out a way to do 30-minute streams or keep them close to 30 or 20 minutes because I want to respect your time. It's smarter for me. I do have a potential for a live stream to get views if it's not super long. So I'm trying to think more, you know, about the parts of YouTube that I've ignored for years when it comes to like search engine optimization, tags, and content and trending topics. I'm going to be looking more towards those things going into the future. Though, I did forget to tell you about one thing I want to talk about, which is demonology. Because as a Christian, which you guys know that I am a full-on Christian now, and I always told you guys I was a Christian before, but I told you that I didn't go to church. You know what I'm saying? And I was more of an independent Christian. Well, now I'm not. I'm a member of a church. I am getting the full picture of religion. I'm understanding it for the first time in my life to a full spectrum, right? And a lot of people, I think, don't understand what Christians believe about demonology and what we believe about the spirit world, what we believe about souls. I think people just assume so many things. One of the most shocking parts, I want to do some content where I talk about what I believe when it comes to religion. I do want to do that. But one thing I think is that there's so many assumptions made. One thing that shocked me more than anything else, when I went back and read only the things that Jesus said in the Bible about a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, something like that, about a year ago, I was shocked at the amount of lies that I had been told about what Jesus says. And one thing that's really cool is that you can download this app called literally just Bible Study on Android, and it'll let you install all these different Bibles. You can even install the Vulgate, the Latin Vulgate and the Greek Bibles, so that you have the literal words written in Greek, and you can click them and it'll tell you what they mean, right? Or you can do the opposite and you can click a word from the King James and it'll tell you what the Latin is, right? Well, it'll tell you what the phrase, the Latin is. So here's what I'm trying to say. I had been lied to so much about what Jesus said, about what Christians believe. And, well, I don't want to say I was completely lied to. I was lied to a lot. I do think I was misinformed, though, also because of certain denominations and certain sects of Christianity. People make assumptions who aren't Christians on what they believe based on the greater group of things, right? And as with everything out there, things that are controversial about maybe a group of people will become the most known thing about a group of people. So you'll have a sect and they'll have a controversial thing about them, and it'll involve something that involves the soul or Jesus or whatever, and then that'll carry through with what other people hear about that thing. And it could be a misinformation issue, non-purposeful misinformation issue, but regardless, once I read it with my own eyes, I started to understand so much more about, you know, the what it really is, right? I think that's been taken away from so many people. It's so sad that there are a lot of people out there that won't sit down and read it with their own eyes. And because they won't read it themselves, they end up just carrying what someone else has told them through. And they'll make a decision on whether they believe in something or not based on an incorrect carried message. You feel me? Anyway, I've always been someone that discusses religion and atheism to a high degree, okay? And one thing that's hard to do is to put those kind of topics into video form. So I hope that with this new kind of study and with this new understanding I have, it'll be a lot easier for me to do that. I also have a thing called my aquarium theory, which I believe fits better than it ever has into the structure of things out there. And I have to figure out a way to end up making the video on that theory and hopefully put it in the hands of some people that debate and discuss things so that we can kind of talk about it and make some progress on this theory that I have. Because I truly believe that I could convince an atheist, I could take an atheist to the point where they fully understand why a Christian believes what they believe logically. It's not illogical. That's one of the greatest issues out there, is that there are people that believe that Christians are illogical or that they believe in fantasy kind of things and all this. And in reality, I believe what I believe due to pure logic and reasoning. It's hard to show that to people, though, because they have so many loaded thoughts. They have so many loaded assumptions. So anyway, back to what I brought that up for. I do not plan on throwing out that kind of content very soon, because that is some heavy stuff that I got to put a lot of work into. I've put countless hours of work into the content before I've even uploaded a single video on it. I've done some live streams on it, but I haven't uploaded a video on it. I really do hope to get some of those videos fleshed out in the near future. But one thing I want to do leading up to there is to talk about demonology and angelology. and some of the concepts behind demons, demonology, ancient ones, what some different people believe are current ones, and you feel me there. And I want to do some kind of like explanatory videos down those aisles. But I do still miss internet history. For those of you that don't know, I'm an internet historian. When my main channel got really big on the platform, it was because that's the kind of content that I did, internet history videos. My entire big playlist that got a bunch of views and stuff, the 8-video playlist, was literally nothing but internet history. And I would like to somehow be able to do all of this type of content under one umbrella. One thing I've decided to do is to put all of that on UNIRock too. Even if it's commentary about a video game, it should go on UNIRock too, if it's commentary, right? rockAlot should be the extra content, the extra that I do. I've been, thinking this heavily lately. So that I can kind of just go back to being a YouTuber, just being a person that makes content on YouTube, instead of being a person that's trying to make content on YouTube while I have all these people wanting, like, demanding all these things from me and having all these issues with everything I say and do, though they can't sit down and just make a to-the-point video addressing the issues that they have. It has to be these long, argued-out live streams, right? And that's what I'm taking away. Like, if you weren't here earlier, those are long, argued-out live streams. They're gone. Goodbye. Now, I might do long live streams with you where I give you my opinion or I do some commentary, but yeah, I'm done with giving attention to people, dishonest people, man. You can't get through to them. You can't change their minds. There's nothing you can do for them, unfortunately. Now, you could put out your opinion, you could put out your point, and it could maybe make an impact on them. That would have more of an impact than trying to ask them what their issue is, trying to get them to exchange with you in like a video exchange on what their issue is and actually giving them proof. They don't care about facts. And so until they start caring about facts and evidence, there's nothing you can do there. And it's sad because that actually reinforces that old adage, right? That old adage about how, a portion of the population must be ignored when it comes to any kind of serious discussion. And I've always been against that. And I always say, I don't know if I'm cynical now, or maybe I'm just not naive anymore. But I've realized the only time that you can have a conversation with someone in that way is if they're willing to be honest and stick to the facts and discuss facts and accept facts. And that has to be the designator for when you cut people off and when you won't. When people are, for whatever reason, whether it's an emotional thing or it's an assumption they've made or whatever, if they're just lying and being deceptive, that's where that line has to be drawn. That's where the line is. So I think I spent way too much time trying to tell myself that, you can get through to some of the dishonest people out there. You can't. Not on the internet. Maybe in real life you could, just not on the internet. So, hello, Miss Chardonnay. Good to see you. Hey, Kelly. Kelly, did it let me respond to you on Twitter? Because I did respond to you with the video for the Faith link. It's the channel. I just brought it up. I just brought him up. Oh, what's the guy's name that did the video on Faith, the Unholy Trinity? Wendy Goon. Yes, the Wendy Goon video on Faith. Faith is terrifying. Faith, the Unholy Trinity is absolutely terrifying. I know that Wendy Goon's video is 4 hours. All you got to do is watch the first 20 minutes. Watch the first 20 minutes and put it down. Next time you feel like turning it on, watch the next 20 minutes. At some point, though, it'll happen to you like it happened to me. You will end up finishing it all in one sitting because you'll just be like, what? It'll be that crazy. Yeah, thank you, Wicked. Wendy Goon. Yeah, Kelly, when you responded to my Twitter space, I responded with the link to the video you wanted, okay? Okay, guys, I apologize. I gotta go. Thank you for coming to my live stream. I missed you very much. Keep an eye out for my uploads because that's where I'm putting my focus into now, just like I promised you I would. And I just feel really good doing uploads again. You know, getting when you get going on live streaming, you know, you kind of want to like, you get this like thing where it's like, I want this thing to be finished before I stop. And that's where it gets cloudy, because when you're in a topic, it's hard to see where the end is, where that finish line is. And I wasted months. I wasted months continuing to stream on garbage that was just already finished, hoping that I could maybe get some people that I really cared to give them, you know, evidence, to get them to see the evidence. But again, you know, those types of things need to be handled with video uploads. One thing I've realized is when you try to handle those kind of things with live streaming, there is too much manipulation that can happen from the other side. And at least we got to witness that straight out. But, you know, it's such a waste of time. It really is a waste of time because there's so many more things that can be done and accomplished in that time. It's just stupid. You too, Anon, and everybody, thank you for coming. I'll see you soon. Keep an eye for my uploads. That's what I'm working on, okay? So when you say, where's Uni? Working on uploads. Peace!